Another team that's surging right now, the Regina girls, and we were both up
Yeah.
at Monticello last Tuesday for the RVC meet. Regina was fourth at that, and Annalie Bartles, I can't remember, was she fourth or fifth?
She was fourth.
Okay,
But that kind of, you got to remember fourth, but there was a Hostetler running.
Right.
So
that's about so that's third, because the winner with a Hostetler's running is.
And we don't cover Mid Prairie. The Gazette was there. Jeff Linder had a really good story on them. They won that meet. But and we're joking, but everyone knows that. But the Hostetler girls have been such really good kids, but such good runners. They're incredible to watch. But the thing about them this year is Annalie Bartles was fourth, and that team has three other runners, that Mid Prairie team, that are all really good. And I honestly mean that. I mean, what's that?
Mid Prairie's 2A?
Yep, they're 2A. So Regina doesn't have to worry about them anymore because they've seen them a lot this year. But, man, they are more than just a really good, top of the line runner in Danielle, right? Hostetler is the freshman this year. But, man, they're 2, 3, and 4 they'd be ones for most everybody else. They're loaded. But, man, Regina, Rob, they just keep getting better.
Yeah, number one now, right? In 1A?
They are. I talked to their coach and love getting the perspective from the coaches. I know I'm always talking about that, but Liam Hartley told me beforehand, we got a chance to talk a little bit before the girls took off that day, and he was telling me, I'm going to mess this up, so I apologize, Coach, but he told me, it's a little bit like a pitcher has a no-hitter going on with the rankings. And this was when they were third. He's like, we just don't mention it. Some of our girls get nervous about the rankings, but they went to North Lynn that previous Saturday, the 10th, and Hudson was there, who was ranked number 1. And he just said, here's a good – he didn't say anything about rankings, just said here's a good team, a good 1A team to kind of gauge yourself against. And Regina beat them by 19 points at that North Lynn meet. So then after that, they flipped to 1. So Hudson went to 3. Regina's 1 right now in the girls' team rankings, which, again, rankings, I think I give the coaches that take the time out of their schedule to do it a lot of credit. It's really, really hard process. But they're number 1. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you even go about doing it, really, but they're number 1. They saw Hudson, like I said, the 10th, stacked up obviously well against them. And then at their state qualifier, they'll see Pekin, who's number 2. So you'll have
where is that?
What's
Ryan?
that?
Where's that
race? That race is in Ottumwa. Pekin is hosting it in Ottumwa.
Is that Wednesday?
That one's Thursday. 1A and 2A are on Thursday. So I feel like we'll have, and again, this sport, for good or bad, Rob, it's kind of crazy because it all comes down to about 20 minutes. And then, that's what goes into the record books, right, is how you finish at state into a 20, 22 minutes. And you can have a day where your breakfast doesn't sit right, or you don't sleep well, or your nerves get to you, or your cramp, or your toe hurts, or whatever. And it doesn't reflect what you did all season. But they're going to have a really good idea of where they sit after seeing, 2 of the other teams that people consider the I don't want to say favorites, but contenders. You saw Hudson a week ago. You see Pekin at the state qualifier. And the way they're running right now, I think Regina is right. Even without the ranking, I would have thought that after the way they ran at RVC at Monticello when we saw them. Annalie Bartles is a title contender. She's every bit as good as anybody in 1A. She can run with those girls. Her times reflect that. And then their girls behind her have just continued to get better. They've cut their times. They're competing well. Maya Whitaker was in the top 15 at RVC. And again, we talk about this. That's another race that is loaded with Monticello and Mid Prairie and a lot of really good girls teams. So she was up there. They're going to have a chance. They really are. Assuming, again, you got to get through the state qualifier and get to Fort Dodge, but they're going to be in a position to stand on the balcony at Fort Dodge, which is what everybody wants. I mean, they are. I don't know if we talked about that last week. I think we mostly talked about Anna Lee and the progress she's made, but with her at the front of their pack, They are every bit. And I think the other thing too with them is we mentioned this last week, but they don't win a lot of meets, but they're at a lot of meets with 3A, 4A teams. And then even, their conference meet, they were fourth as a team. But you look at who's ahead of them, Mid Prairie and Monticello and those teams that are competing for 2A championships every year, they're going to be just fine. And that type of stuff is going to make them better. Just watch. In 2 weeks, they're going to be right there. Right there.